What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, Carved Up Vegan Muscle. And I got a question just yesterday, and it was, are squats essential as a strength exercise? And then the second question was, how do you avoid putting all that stress on your back while squatting? And excuse me, the answer isn't necessarily, no exercise is essential as a strength exercise, but every exercise is like a tool for building your muscle and making yourself stronger. And if you were a chef, the most essential tool that you would have available to you would be the chef's knife. You use it in virtually everything that you do. You cut up everything. It's more useful. And the squat is much like that. It is more essential. It is more useful than probably any other exercise. And the reason that is that it puts more total body stress while doing it on your body while doing it than any other exercise. So it stimulates your back. It stimulates your total back. Your lats are holding up the weight, especially as you get stronger. Your lower back is being used to hold your body erect while you go, dipping down into the squat. And really, I've been learning lately that a lot of muscles, that as we stimulate them, even if they're not directly in line, like I notice a lot of times the day after I do deadlifts. So I'll usually do on the day that I do deadlifts, I'll usually also do some front squats. I might do overhead pressing. I'll do deadlifts, of course, and maybe pull-ups or something like that. So I'm not really doing any direct chest work, but some days I will feel like I've worked my chest some. And the reason for that is that you contract a lot of those muscles so tightly while going into maximal effort work on some of those bigger movements like squats or deadlifts, that you're stimulating that muscle. So no, the squat is not essential, but yes, it is potentially the most useful tool that you have for building strength and building up the muscles in your body. Now, the other question, or other part of the question, was how do you avoid putting stress on your back during the squat? And the answer is that I don't avoid it. I welcome it. I welcome that stress as a stimulus to cause the muscle to grow. Now, I didn't start out squatting, 350 and 355 for sets of 3 and 5, but I've worked up to that, over the last, particularly over the last year, but really I've been lifting for the last 2 years now. So, I started with lighter weights. I started with an empty barbell at one point and worked my way up. And so, that's kind of how you have to do it. I don't recommend, I was working last night. I did a powerlifting class at the YMCA, and I had 0 people show up because they didn't put it in the schedule. It was the first night. They just asked me to come in and set out the stuff and see if I could get anybody to come in. So I had one guy, after about 15 minutes or so after the class was supposed to start. It was the weirdest way to start a class. But one guy came in, and he was just wanting to use the room, and I told him, what class was supposed to be going on. He's like, oh, well, I would love to do that. Let's, go through it. So I had him do a few different exercises. And I said, so have you squatted before? And he said, yes. I said, how much did you squat? And he's like, 400. And I was like, really? That's a lot of weight. And then I had him just, I said, well, why don't we start with just the bar and do a warm-up set? And he's like, okay. And he gets under the bar, and I can immediately see that this guy did not squat 400. He just didn't have the mechanics, and he most certainly didn't have the muscle to squat that much weight. And so he goes down, and I gave him some tips, on fixing his squat. And, we worked up. I think he ended up squatting 135 or 145 or something like that. I might have put some 5s on there, I don't remember. And, I had him do that as a working weight. He did 3 sets of 5. But my point in saying that is that a lot of kids will come in and do these weights. They'll put on way more weight. If I would have let him put 400 pounds on the bar, he would have taken it out and crushed himself, because that's crazy. You know, he wasn't capable of that. He wanted to believe that he was capable of that. And even after that, it wasn't like, you know, he got it. We went in to do deadlifts, and he's like, yeah, I've deadlifted 500 before. I think we worked up to 185, and I wasn't really comfortable putting more weight for him on than that. But so he had not deadlifted 500 pounds regardless of what he claimed. But so, you know, there's a safety factor in that. You don't start out with weights that you can't handle. You start out with weights that are easily manageable for you, and you progressively get stronger and you add weight to the bar. And the other thing is that I have had people that have had lower back problems, they have knee problems, they have, you know, all these kind of functional things that make it difficult for them to squat, and the box squat has been a very, very useful tool for me in helping those people to be able to squat multiple times per week, usually 3 times per week, and you know, continually get stronger that way. And you can't always push as much weight, but you know, they are growing stronger and stronger and stronger each week because they're able to box squat, definitely more compared to if they were not squatting at all, which I think would be what they would prefer sometimes. But they like the results that they get from squatting regularly. So I recommend squatting. I think it's probably the most useful tool. And that's it for today, guys. If you found this video to be helpful, I'd appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.